Hello, welcome back to the Reading Mama. My name is Heather, and today I thought I would give an update of my June journey with the Inklings. If you have not heard of this challenge, it's by, I want to say her name's Kailey. Kailey, is that your name? At Luminous Libro. And I noticed this last year and participated partially, and this year I participated again partially. But basically the point is to read books by the Inklings or influenced by the Inklings, and she has a long list beyond Tolkien and Lewis. But seeing as I have not read all of Tolkien and Lewis, I have been focusing on that. So I'm going to go through the books I did read, books I'm in the middle of, and go through the prompts in general. So she has kind of her hero's journey, and she has all these things, and I'm probably not going to put it up here just because I don't want to mess with the technology to do it today, but I will read them to you. So the first was Encounter a Wise Mentor, and that meant read the Bible. I've been working through Psalms every month this year, and so that was kind of spotty, but I did work through that. I also worked through the story of Noah multiple times because we did that for our vacation Bible school, and I created the skit, the lessons, everything. So I did a lot of time in Genesis rereading the Noah story. So that's what I did for that one. The next one was Research Ancient Legends. Read a nonfiction Inkling book or essay. And I am almost finished with C.S. Lewis, A Grief Observed, and it is a heartbreaking book. It is really what it boils down to is Lewis wrestling with God and wrestling with his faith after the loss of his wife. And I don't, this was originally, he didn't even publish it with his own name. And it's not necessarily meant as an encouraging book. I don't know, maybe at the end it gets more encouraging, but it's just showing that we are all vulnerable, and we can be vulnerable in our faith and still trust in the Lord, even when the doubts kick in, even when the anger and the frustration and the hurt and the pain come. And we can come to God and wrestle with him and talk to him. And that's basically what he's doing throughout this book. And it has been an interesting and heartbreaking thing to read. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's a really short one. I'm trying to read through all of C.S. Lewis's books, so I just picked a short one for this month since I had so many other books I was reading. Then let's see here. I also have another book that it would count for. No, wait, it wouldn't. Just kidding. So then I said, set out on a quest, read a fiction Inkling book or novella or short story. And I finished my reread of the Narnia series, and it is so beautiful. Absolutely loved it. I did this one part physical, part audiobook, which is Magician's Nephew, which when I bought these years ago, I didn't know anything about chronological publication order. Please forgive me. I did not know in college. I didn't read these as a kid. I read them in college for the first time. And so I read them in the publication order because they had the numbers on the side. I understand now. I need to just put stickers over those numbers. Because that's not the right way. Magician's Nephew definitely needs to be book 6 read. I was lamenting it, and I put it off, and then I'm so glad that I did reread it because I thought it was my least favorite, but I absolutely loved it. There's so many little nuances as you go back after reading through the series and going back to the beginning and seeing the creation of Narnia and all of that. Is very, very interesting. And then I finished The Last Battle, and I did an actually audiobook version because Patrick Stewart was reading it. And my dad was a very much Trekkie, so having Captain Jean-Luc Picard read me Narnia was something I didn't know I needed in life, but I did. And he does a phenomenal job. And the story is just beautiful, and it is also heartbreaking, but it is just so amazing. And it was funny because as I was reading through these, I've seen posts on Instagram where people are like, this is why we don't give normal names in fantasy books. But, we have Eustace and Polly and Diggory and, Peter and Susan and Lucy and Edmund. And yeah. And so there's somewhat normal names in those. But that was a wonderful reread. Then it says, discover hidden magic was the next prompt, and it was read a new to you Inkling book, novella, short story, or poem or essay. And then the next is rescue the damsel, read poetry by the Inklings. Now I did look up a couple poems by the Inklings online, but what I read was Tolkien's translation of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. I did not read the other two because honestly I struggled. This is an epic poem from Middle English that he has translated, all three of them. And so I read the first one. And it took me so long to read it. Because I very much know the story of Sir Gawain and the Green Knight, and I've read multiple versions of it, I thought, I don't know. I was just getting really frustrated with some of the things. There were a couple of points, though, that were just like laugh out loud funny. And I really like, because at the end of each stanza or chapter, however, I don't know what you call those in epic poems, he has like 4 lines that all rhyme, and some of them are really, really hilarious. Oh, I didn't mark them, but I really did enjoy that part of it. Overall, it was not my favorite Sir Gawain retelling, because I didn't like how it ended. I like Green, what's his name? His last name's Green, that wrote King Arthur, and I like his better. But so that's going to count for my poetry and a new to me Inkling book. And I will go back and finish those other 2 poems, just not yet. And then 6 was Restore a Magical Sword, read a book influenced by the Inklings or that influenced the Inklings. And I've been reading through George MacDonald books, and I know that for both Tolkien and Lewis, he was a huge influence. So I've been reading some of those, and some of them are wackadoodle, but I did The Light Princess. The Light Princess is cute. It's a little novella. George MacDonald has some weird fairy tales, okay? Let's just put it out there. He's just borderline dark and weird. I don't know. This one is less dark. It's funny. It's cute. Princess is cursed at her christening, and she has no gravity, both physically or emotionally. And so it's talking about her life and what it's like, dealing with those as she grows up. And then of course a prince comes along and everything changes, and he helps her find gravity. It's really, really well written. I really enjoy it. Short, quick read. And then the last 2 was so number 7 is Defeat the Dark Lord, and that's where you watch a screen adaptation. I did not do that this year. And then number 8 was Fulfill the Prophecy, read a book about the Inklings or their work. And I am still in the middle of this. It actually got shoved to the back of my shelf, and I forgot about it. So I have A Hobbit, a Wardrobe, and a Great War, how J.R.R. Tolkien and C.S. Lewis rediscovered faith, friendship, and heroism in the cataclysm of 1914-1918. I mean, it is the longest subtitle on earth. It's interesting. It's not all I thought it was going to be, but I am enjoying reading it, and I'm glad I found it again and can put it back on my front. But like I said, I did not finish it, so I will continue my June journey with the Inklings throughout the year. I'm always reading some kind of Tolkien or Lewis. It seems like every month I have at least one of their books on my radar, if not picking up. And so far in this book, it's really been a focus on World War I, and all that was going on then. So yeah, it's interesting. And then I'm also in the middle of Tales Before Narnia, The Roots of Modern Fantasy and Science Fiction. And I don't know what I thought it was when I picked it up. But basically we have the classic story. I didn't see the subtitle, I guess is what it was. So I had to rip the sticker off of that. Classic stories that inspired C.S. Lewis. And so you have a lot of different fairy tales, excerpts from children's books and fantasy and things like that inspired him. And so I'm going to start doing what Kailey from Luminous Zero did, and I'm going to mark the ones that I like. And so that way when I go back the next time, I'm like, oh yeah, and I don't necessarily have to, I need to mark them somehow. Otherwise I'll be like, what was that one about? Did I like this one? So yeah, that's what I've been reading for my June journey with the Inklings. As I said, I will continue my journey with the Inklings. I think that will be a lifelong passion of mine. But these are the books I've been working on this month. And then I've already decided that I think next year needs to be my Lord of the Rings reread. And so I would definitely not finish all 4 books in June. But I will prepare in that way so that I have at least one of them going in June, because it's been a couple years since I read them, and I did them on audio the first time, and I think I want to eyeball read them, which will take longer, I know. But I think that's what I want to do is this next time around. So I'm gonna earmark that for next year. But that's what I had going on for my June journey with the Inklings. Tell me your favorite Inkling book or Inkling inspired book below. And thank you so much for watching, and have a blessed day.